then off onto their green flag warming up lap. So let's take a look at the grid for this race. On the front row will be Chris Middlehurst and Alex Walker. On row 2, Tom Mills and Lucas Romanek. And on row 3, Rory Smith and Max Esterson, with Morgan Quinn and Megan Gilks on row 4. On row 5 we have Colin Queen and Joey Foster. On row 6, Andre Lafond and Ben Tinkler. On row 7, Jamie Sharp and Carter Williams. And on row 8, Jamie Vinal-Mayer and Benjamin Cochran. So a 16-car grid for this, the 7th round of the National Formula Ford Championship. The grid here is set by the results of yesterday, but with a penalty for yesterday's winner, Max Esterson, who took the win, but he did make contact during the course of the race. He keeps his win, but he got a 5-place grid penalty for this race, so starts down in 6th place. As I say, it was Esterson that won yesterday's 15-lap slipstreaming race, and he beat Chris Middlehurst in that, and Alex Walker 3rd. 4th was Tom Mills, 5th Lucas Romanek, and 6th Rory Smith, who had to take avoiding action when Esterson tagged Joey Foster into a spin. Foster ended up finishing 10th, so that's where he starts today. The championship is headed by Alex Walker after yesterday's race. He's been a 3-time winner this year. He won twice at Donington Park and once at Knock Hill. He's got 178 points to Max Esterson's 155. That was his first win yesterday. He's had podiums though in 4 other races. Jamie Sharp, who didn't have a good day yesterday, he's 3rd in the championship on 112 points. He took a better result of 2nd in the 2nd race at Donington. 4th in the championship, Rory Smith, last year's festival winner. He took a win at Donington Park. Chris Middlehurst is 5th in the championship, who took a win at Knock Hill last time out. So this is the 7th round of the championship. The only category we see today that have already had 2 meetings. Once on the Donington Park live streamed event, and once at Knock Hill a couple of weeks ago, which included a race for the David Leslie Memorial Trophy, which Middlehurst won. It's him on pole position today in the Van Diemen LA10, which is run by Team Dolan, Bernard Dolan's squad. Very experienced in Formula Ford 1600 racing. Alongside him is Alex Walker in the Kevin Mills Racing Spectrum, and those Spectrums are very good guards around this Silverstone National Circuit. They've won so many Walter Hayes trophies at this venue. And it's his teammate Tom Mills who starts there in 3rd, and the 3rd of those Spectrums is Lucas Romanek altogether. So you've got 3 Spectrums together there. Then you've got the Medina of Rory Smith and the Ray of Max Esterson. You've also got Firmin and a Medina further back, but the race gets underway. Then this is 15 minutes for round 7 of the Avon Tyres National Formula Ford Championship. They head down towards Copse Corner with Chris Middlehurst leading from I think that might have been Tom Mills making a good start. There's Megan Gilks in the mid-pack. Running wide is 88, which is Morgan Quinn in one of the Van Diemens as they head down towards Beckett. So a little bit slippery out there. This is the kind of conditions they qualified in yesterday, which Joey Foster was much quicker than anybody else. So watch out for Foster, the multiple Walter Hayes winner in the new Furman car number 3. But there's 33 at the back. That's Benjamin Cochran in one of the Van Diemen. He's a new driver though to racing. Here come the leaders, and down towards Brooklands, and it is Tom Mills who's absolutely flying. Another new driver to race in. He was challenging for the lead. There's Joey Foster, number 3. Watch out for him in the Don Hardman run car. Another very experienced Formula Ford preparer. And Joey Foster's been racing these cars for a very long time as well. In the middle there at Luffield, it was all getting very busy, but it is Tom Mills that leads. What a great start to his race. So he heads away, and one of the Spectrums is off. Is that Megan Gilks, the former W Series racer who took to the gravel. There's yesterday's winner, Max Esterson, in the Low Dempsey run Ray that could the lead though. Chris Middlehurst is challenging up the inside of Tom Mills, who gets up the curb, gets sideways as he turns into Copse Corner, and he may well lose the lead therefore. Esterson here round the outside of a very sideways Lucas Romanek, and he had to completely get out of that Max Esterson, otherwise it would have been contact at a very quick part of the circuit. For the lead though, Mills has held on. He's still ahead there of Chris Middlehurst, with in 3rd position Alex Walker, the championship leader. And you can see spray being kicked up on the exit of, or on the outside line of Beckett. So drivers taking some different lines here to try and find the grip. Another of the Low Dempsey cars in there. That's 62 Colin Queen. He's one of a number of American drivers that are taking part in National Formula Ford racing in the UK this year. But it's a few Brits at the front, and it's Tom Mills that leads Chris Middlehurst, and Alex Walker two young drivers around Middlehurst, who's been about for a few seasons now in Formula Ford racing. He did race as high as BRDC Formula 3 level before returning back to Formula Ford 1600. Max Esterson sits fourth. He's the best of the Americans. Side by side for second, the slippery Spectrum trying to get down the inside of the Van Diemen. Couldn't quite do it through Woodcote Corner as they come across the line. The Ray behind them has just set the fastest lap of the race. Max Esterson, a 68.679, but he spins at Copse Corner. The car rotates, and that takes him out of the leading battle, of course, and he gets on the circuit, and it's very tight with everyone else trying to get around him. So you can see it's pretty slippery out there for these cars. So here comes Mills, Middlehurst and Walker, which is the lead battle. In fourth position is Rory Smith, last year's Formula Ford Festival winner. The BRSCC once again will be running the festival this year at the end of October at Brands Hatch, and that'll be the 50th running of the event this year, of the festival this year. So that's going to be a real occasion for the BRSCC and for Formula Ford 1600 racing. But here in the National Championship, starting to get away is Tom Mills. This is very impressive drive from him. He hasn't been on the podium yet in a Formula Ford race. Could this be the day? Well, he's getting away from Chris Middlehurst. It might be a bit more than just a podium. He's really stretching his legs, so they got the setup right on that car, you have to wonder. There's Joey Foster. He's up to 5th now. Remember, he started 10th. He was the quickest driver in these kind of conditions yesterday. See a drying line as well starting to emerge. So this race certainly not over yet, but the leader's getting away. Tom Mills, he's just on the fastest lap of 68.609 to put him 1.2 seconds clear of Chris Middlehurst. There's the order on your screen, and the gaps as well, you can see. The top 14 cars still separated by 10 seconds. Here comes Foster, down the inside into Maggots, and he gets himself ahead of Rory Smith. So the Firmin, the Joey Foster driven car that takes 4th. Now Rory Smith's car, was that just spray or was that more that coming out the back of the Medina, the BM Racing Run car? Let's hope it was just a bit of spray as he went over the curbs. He's got Lucas Romanek behind him, so hard on the brakes then. So there's Joey Foster and Rory Smith, both former Formula Ford Festival winners in the past. And there's more smoke coming out the back of the Medina. I don't think all is well there with Rory Smith's car, I'm afraid to say. So smoke now starting to billow out the back of the Medina. The Donington Park race winner, Rory Smith, may not make the end of this race. There's 10 minutes to go. We've had a third of the event now, and the fastest lap of the race has just been set by Max Esterson, who spun a lap ago. He's just done a 67.764, which is much faster than anybody else. The Low Dempsey Ray just going through your shot. Car number 42 that's running in 7th behind the Spectrum of Lucas Romanek. He pulls out of the toe to the left-hand side of the circuit, which will give him the inside for Maggots, but the outside for Beckett, so I'm not sure that's going to work for him. There's Smith. Well, the car's still running at the moment, but there's something that's causing smoke to pour out the back of the car, which is never a good sign. Down towards Brooklands ahead. It's still 1.2 seconds that Mills has over Middlehurst and Walker. There's Foster in 4th, who is lapping quicker than the car in front of him. For 6th, Esterson round the outside. He's taken a much wider line than anybody else, and it works. He passes a very, very sideways Lucas Romanek. So into P6 for Esterson. He's now behind the Smoky Smith. And the top 3, they're a bit spread out while everybody battles behind. 4th is Foster, 5th is Smith, 6th is now Esterson. In 8th position, in 7th position is Romanek, and then in 8th position is Colin Queen in another of the Low Dempsey Run Rays. It's all over the back of Romanek coming through Copse Corner. He goes round the outside and he gets tagged, and they both spin. Perhaps an ambitious move on the outside of Copse. They both do a full 360 and will rejoin, but further down the order. So that was Colin Queen trying to pass Lucas Romanek. It didn't work out for either of them. And sideways through Maggots, Esterson passes Smith. That's the car that continues to have this smoke billow out the back of the car. It doesn't seem to be slowing him down remarkably much, though. But Esterson now up to 5th, the yesterday's winner, who had a spin in this race, but is the quickest driver consistently out there. Car number 42, the American, going really well here. Certainly liking the Silverstone circuit, it would seem, whether it's dry like yesterday or a bit slippery like today. Somebody else that's liking these conditions, of course, is Tom Mills, who continues to lead with this 1 second advantage over the rest. Chris Middlehurst is 2nd. 3rd is Alex Walker, who's been caught by Joey Foster. So Joey Foster, car number 3, the Firmin, that's run by Don Hardman is right on the tail of the spectrum there. He has to go onto the slippery part of the track. He realises that's not going to be a way to get past Alex Walker. So he sits right behind him, right on the gearbox of the Spectrum driver, who runs out wide over the curb. The championship leader, Alex Walker, is now coming under further and further pressure from Joey Foster, who's not had a very good start to his championship season. But this is looking much more promising. As they turn their way into Beckett's, you can see these drivers take a very wide line through Beckett's, trying to find the grip before they exit the corner. Max Esterson's caught them now. Foster's the new fastest lap driver, 67.542 on that particular lap. But it does seem on this lap Esterson has caught him. And for the lead, we've had a change. Tom Mills must have made a mistake at the start of this lap because Chris Middlehurst has passed him. He was 1.4 seconds behind. He's trying to fight back though, is Mills. It's side by side for the lead as they turn their way into Luffield on the outside line. Cutting back now to the inside is Tom Mills. So Tom Mills going back for the lead after making a mistake at the beginning of the lap. Chris Middlehurst passed him, but Mills is putting him under increasing pressure. And we're going to get 5 for the lead soon because Alex Walker and Joey Foster and Max Esterson are catching them. We've still got half the race to go. We've just had 7 laps. Yesterday we got 15 and it might be a 14-lap race in these conditions. As they turn into Copse, back up the inside comes Tom Mills, trying to get himself back ahead of Chris Middlehurst. He couldn't make it there though, but the top 5 cars are separated by less than 1 second as they head down towards Maggots and Beckett. So you've got the team Dolan, Ron Van Diemen ahead of the 2 Spectrums run by Kevin Mills as they turn their way now through the right-handed corner at Beckett's. Chris Middlehurst, who was so close to winning the Waterhays Trophy last year until an incident. He heads away here at Silverstone in the 7th round of the Avon Tyres National Formula Ford Championship, being heading the spectrums of young racers Tom Mills and Alex Walker, who haven't been doing this for too long, but they're going really well, aren't they? Alex Walker, the former Formula 4 racer. Tom Mills goes for the lead. He's up the inside into Luffield. He gets past on the slipperier part of the track, and then he managed to slot in front of Middlehurst, meaning that Middlehurst couldn't fight back on the exit. Smith's the Medina kind of with them still, despite the smoke that continues to billow out the back of his car. Across the line, Middlehurst challenging for the lead. They're on the slippery part of the track here, and then they all sweep back to the drier line on the left-hand side of the circuit. Tom Mills leads then as they turn their way into Copse Corner ahead of Chris Middlehurst, Alex Walker, Joey Foster and Max Esterson. We've had 8 laps. We've got just over 5 minutes to go. Down towards Maggots and Beckett's again. This is lap 9. The Spectrum back out front of Tom Mills after that error a lap ago. There's Esterson and Foster, who have been the 2 quickest drivers in this race. So at the back of the group, they've both had to recover. For Foster, he came through from 10th on the grid. For Esterson, from 6th and a spin. Of course, it were those 2 drivers that clashed yesterday. Middlehurst to the outside into Brooklands on the right-hand side of the racetrack. He can't do it. What about Max Esterson? He was 5th. He's gone down the inside of 2 cars into Brooklands. He's trying to come up the inside of the leaders as well. In the end, he just gains the 1 place. He gets ahead of Joey Foster. So it did work. It looked like, though, he might gain a lot more positions at one point in all of that. But yeah, he does gain 1, up to 4th for the Low Dempsey Racing driver. Max Esterson, yesterday's winner, up to P4. He's right on the gearbox now of championship leader and championship rival. These are the 2 top drivers in the championship, Alex Walker and Max Esterson. What about for the lead? Chris Middlehurst comes to the outside of Alex Walker, Tom Mills I should say, but can't quite do it there. Walker's held on to 3rd with Esterson in 4th as they head out of Copse. Lots of battling going on further back. In 6th is Rory Smith, 7th Carter Williams, 8th is Colin Queen, 9th Jamie Sharp and 10th is the car of Andre Lafond for the lead. Well, it's Mills that heads it, but round the outside comes his teammate Alex Walker to pass Chris Middlehurst. So Chris Middlehurst, who led a couple of laps ago, is dropped down to 3rd behind the 2 teammates in the Spectrums. The Australian chassis manufacturer. Down towards Brooklands then they come, and it's Middlehurst losing another place now. He's down to 4th because Max Esterson's gone through. The 2 Spectrums are side by side, and Alex Walker's on the left-hand side of the racetrack, and he passes Tom Mills around the outside into Luffield. So Alex Walker, I don't think he's led a lap yet this weekend. He leads now as they come out of Luffield. A very different line being taken by Joey Foster. Not sure what that's all about, but he's down there in 5th position as they complete 10 laps. There's 3.5 minutes to go, so it's going to be tight whether we get 3 or 4 more laps out of this as they head down towards Copse Corner. Behind, still in 6th is Rory Smith, 7th is Carter Williams, in 8th position, battened away there across the line, Colin Queen and Jamie Sharp, and then in 10th position continues to be Andre Lafond. But for the lead of the race, it's side by side again between the Spectrum drivers. On the inside line is Tom Mills, on the outside is Alex Walker. Max Esterson's right there in the Ray as well. Rory Smith's almost making it 6th for the lead. Joey Foster's past Chris Middlehurst, he's up to 4th now. So changing all the time, and for the lead of the race, it's Walker in front. Esterson though tags him, and they go over, goes over the top of the wheels. Does Alex Walker of Max Esterson? He's still sliding. He's not actually lost much time. Now he's hit wheels with Chris Middlehurst, and now he contacts Max Esterson again. It's gone all very, very, very wrong at Brooklands for the 2 championship contenders. These are the 2 championship leaders, Alex Walker and Max Esterson, and it's broken the front right corner of Esterson's car. I'm sure we'll get a look at that later on to work out really what was going on. But the 2 championship contenders took each other out of the motor race, and that means Tom Mills is the leader once more from Chris Middlehurst. Joey Foster and Rory Smith has bought into the battle with the lead now. There's just over 2 minutes to go. There's the broken car of championship leader Alex Walker that's heading for the pit lane after at least 2 bits of contact with Max Esterson. Maybe there was more. But anyway, here come the leaders down towards Beckett. On a big slide for the leader, Tom Mills. He's going to run out of road, is he here? He gets lots of understeer trying to bring the car back onto the track, and he does. So he got a big step out of oversteer to start with before he got understeer to brought the car back onto the track, but he managed to hang on to the lead out of all of that. But here comes Joey Foster from 3rd. He's going to pass both of them, is he? No, he had to brake earlier. But the 2 leaders run out wide. All over the tarmac runoff now is Tom Mills. So Chris Middlehurst takes the lead and Joey Foster follows him through. So it's Middlehurst from Foster from Mills and Smith now as they come out of Luffield. Hard to know if we're going to get 1 or 2 more laps in this race. There's currently 80 seconds on the clock, so we might just squeeze 2 further laps out of this race. Let's see if there's a last lap board shown. I don't think there is. It's side by side for the lead as Joey Foster. Remember, he started 10th, trying to get himself ahead of Chris Middlehurst. He can't do it, but diving back down the inside comes Tom Mills. Remember, he hasn't finished on the podium in a race yet. He's very keen to get a good result out of this. That was perhaps a little bit too ambitious into Copse corner. When they crossed the line, there were 1 minute and 12 seconds on the clock, and they're doing 1 minute 8, so we should get a further lap after this one. Here they come then, out of Beckett's. It's Chris Middlehurst that leads, son of saloon car racing legend Andy Middlehurst. Joey Foster right in his wheel tracks. Joey Foster racing British Formula 3 a couple of decades ago. Lots of experience for him, and he can't quite get alongside Middlehurst on this occasion into Brooklands. This time into Brooklands, it all seems much more calm than the last couple of laps where it's been very frantic, it's fair to say. And here comes Mills down the inside of Foster. He can't make it though, so they stay in that same order as they accelerate out of Luffield and onto Woodcote Corner. There should be 1 further lap to go, and Joey Foster knows about it. He's trying to get himself alongside Middlehurst. No, the checkered flag goes out, so checkered flag goes out a couple of seconds early, so that's the end of the race, and it's Chris Middlehurst that wins it by 86 thousandths of a second from Joey Foster, who I'm sure will be left frustrated. Tom Mills does get his first podium. He takes third, but perhaps it could have been more. Rory Smith took 4th. 5th for Carter Williams. 6th Max Esterson after that incident earlier. 7th for Colin Queen. 8th for Jamie Sharp. 9th for Lucas Romanek. 10th for Megan Gilks. 11th for Andre Lafond. 12th for Morgan Quinn. 13th Jamie Vinyl-Mayer. 14th for Ben Tinkler, the club driver. And in 15th position was Benjamin Cochran. So what a race that was. We thought today's racing was going to be exciting, and the first 2 races have lived up to that. Let's see what happened during the course of that race, the Avon Tyres National Formula Ford Championship. Well, this is some of the highlights. It'll be too long to show you all of them because it was pretty epic all the way through. Max Esterson was challenging at this point, going around the outside of Lucas Romanek. So here come the top 4 at this stage. It was quite spread out really at this point, wasn't it? Alex Walker and Chris Middlehurst going side by side, but they all fought back into Tom Mills after Mills made a mistake after he led. There's Max Esterton's first issue. He had a rotation at Copse corner, but it would get more dramatic for him later. There was contact as well a bit further back between Colin Queen and Lucas Romanek. We had the smoky car of Rory Smith, but he made the finish. Chris Middlehurst passed Tom Mills after Mills's mistake And then we had Max Esterson buying into the battle with him and Middlehurst, and you had Alex Walker and Joey Foster making it a 5-car battle for the lead. At this point, Alex Walker led, then him and Max Esterson leant on each other, they touched wheels, Walker went over the top of Esterson's wheel, and then when he tried to recover, Middlehurst sort of tagged him, and then he turned into Max Esterson therefore, and it broke the corner on Alex Walker's car and put Max Esterson further down the order. Battles continued though, with Tom Mills then taking the lead, but he got very sideways into Brooklands and slid out wide. Chris Middlehurst therefore came through and just held on to win from Joey Foster. Let's see though what the drivers thought of that race.
Wow, stunning. If that's not an advert for National Formula Ford, I'm not sure what is. 15 very intense minutes of racing, and through it all a very happy Chris Middlehurst. I think you've got to be ready, because that was one of the best Formula 4 races we've had in quite a while. How was it from the driver's seat?
Just crazy, but really fair racing, I must say. You know, within millimetres of each other, and it's just bonkers. But no, really pleased for the win there for Team Dowen. The car's been great all weekend. We had a second yesterday and a win there as well. Obviously there's some contact between, it was Walker and Esterson, but yeah, it was just to and fro. You're trying to break that slipstream, obviously, but it's very, very hard around here. You've got to sort of be with had about sort of 2 seconds in order to break it, so I was trying to push, and then young Tom Mills had a great drive. He was behind me and made some great moves on me, and sort of slowed my progress really. I dropped back in the pack, but yeah, made it back through again and to win, so absolutely delighted.
As you mentioned, that's an advert for Formula Ford, isn't it, that race?
100%, yeah. Any young drivers in karting looking to move up in single seaters, no better formula to learn in and learn your craft and then to go further up the ranks.
Absolutely. Well done, and you've got it all to do again this afternoon.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good stuff. Let's bring in someone else who knows about Formula Ford. Second place man, Joey Foster. That's going to be one of the most intense races you've done for a while.
I think it is, probably the most actually. Yeah. But no, just really glad. You know, the whole weekend was all about just gathering trophies, trying to get on the podium, and obviously starting 10th, it was a big ask, but came through and got involved in the obviously lead battle for the majority of the race. When I dropped back to 5th, I actually found it was a lot better just sitting back and watching him up ahead, rather than being in the intense battle. But I'm glad to get a trophy.
That's the kind of racing the championship wants, isn't it? Because you've been in it for quite a while. You know how good racing is. Anything you don't know about Formula Ford isn't worth knowing. So effectively, racing like that is exactly what the championship needs.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's we've always known Formula Ford is the best racing, and that's what it is every time around here. So yeah, great show.
All right, front row next.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we'll see how we go from there.
Well, to bring on the draw, I suppose. But either way, well done, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers. Thank you.
And let's bring Thomas in as well. Thomas. What a race that was. Yeah. At one point you had the lead. I know everyone wants to win, but still, you have to be delighted with 3rd place. Mega drive.
Yeah, I'm really happy with an overall podium for my 2nd ever national round. Really good, really new to Formula Ford, and well, that's what it is about, isn't it? Yeah. Brilliant racing, and just a bit annoyed I was in the lead and I made a mistake, and then they all got back to me, and then I've never seen racing like it. In the wet, it was even better than yesterday. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah. And you're a young driver that's choosing the Formula Ford route, and there's obviously people that would choose others, but for drivers of your age or young and coming up, how much can you recommend Formula Ford to them as a learning ground for them to kind of enhance their craft going forward?
Yeah, well, it's brilliant. It's got no wings, got no slits, so you're constantly fighting the car. It's always moving around, slipstreaming like mad. So you learn car control and just how to race so fairly, and like you have quite a few people my age, and then you have the older ones in it, and we just all race so fairly, and that was just so much fun and just good, cost effective as well.
Yeah. Well, it looked good from out there, so well done. Go and celebrate it. Go for next time.
Thank you.